Hello viewers, welcome back to Rasmus Far, Historical Persian Martial Arts. This is Frank Perrin, and today I'm actually being joined by Hayden Lewis in a collaborative video to do some discussion about preferences in arms and armor, especially obviously concerning the Persian arms and armor that we most frequently deal with here on the channel. Now obviously we all know that grappling is a key component to any martial art, right? Even in boxing, right? Things that are more striking oriented. You're going to find yourself in clinches. You're going to find yourself in tie-ups. You're going to find yourself in situations, maybe not sport boxing, right? But if you're a boxer, you're going to a fight, you're going to find yourself in these situations. So we kind of like to discuss our preferences for weapons in different situations, right? Because you can't obviously apply these weapons to everything. So what today Hayden and I wanted to talk about was a little bit about weapon sets and their application to different grappling techniques in unarmored versus armored combat. Hayden has a lot of experience as a professional grappler in unarmored situations, so we're going to let him talk about the unarmored components and weapon use with that. I'm going to cover the armored part, as you know, I do Buhurt style fights, and there's a lot of grappling in that, and I tend to win a lot of my fights by takedown. I'm by no means a professional in grappling, but with armored combat, in that sense, I have a little bit more experience, so I just want to take my opinion on that. So since I'm here first, I'm going to start with my weapon set. So what I have on me is Khanjar and Nezé. Now you might be wondering, wow, Nezé seems really counterintuitive for grappling, like a spear and distance weapon. Well, on the contrary, I don't really think it is. As Dr. Khorasani has talked about many times on our channel, there's so many things about the Nezé that can aid you in grappling and striking. So we're going to say for this situation that I am wearing a variety of any kind of armor, right? For this, I'm covered head to toe in any kinds of Persian armor, whether that is lamellar or mail and plate, right? The reason why I would be most comfortable grappling with this weapon set, both Khanjar and Nezé. Well, I'm going to start with Nezé and talking about distance, right? First off, Nezé is a weapon that very much allows you, unless you're fighting someone who also experienced the Nezé, to really know how to really keep your distance. Throw strikes, get in there, hit, get in, get out when you need to, right? There's a lot of distance that lets you keep. But when it's time to close that distance, and let's say take down an opponent if you need to, historically in the battlefield, right? You didn't always want to kill every opponent. Maybe you wanted to take them down, capture them, make them your prisoner. Or maybe they're really too good defending with Nezé and you can't find a gap. You can't get to that thrust in the face. You can't exploit that gap in the armor, right? Nezé will actually allow you, in the skilled hands, to do things like catch oncoming strikes, right? Bind, come in, close the distance, grab your opponent, and throw them, right? You can also do things like trap an opponent, like defend an opponent's strike, come in, grab around their head, use the Nezé for pressure, throw them down to the ground, sweep them, right? The Nezé really allows you clean openings to come in and get a grapple. A Nezé could really be a grappler's best friend because it allows you to even, clear that distance and come in and grab the opponent like you need to throw them down and secure a grapple. So yeah, you start out at distance, but this weapon really allows you to clear a lot of that distance to open up a path to come in and get your opponent. Now, what if you're in close distance? What if someone closes your distance and you have Nezé? That's not that unfeasible of a defense either, right? You're in close, but look what you've got: the shat, you got the half to defend, the butt cap, right? If this Nezé is squeezed up against your body, you still have enough cutting power to maybe get into a gap somewhere, right? you have enough to do with this. You can trap around their body. You can try to sweep under their leg. There's plenty of things you can do with this to maybe initiate a grapple. This is also great for a grappler because if there's a situation where you can't get a grapple, you can't get something that's going to be solid enough for you to get a hold on your opponent, this is such an easy weapon to discard. That's it, right? Now your arms are free if they need to be. If you have a Sephar, maybe your hand might get caught in the strapping, right? If you have a gores or something, it's a thing that, like, if you step on it, it might be a tripping hazard for yourself. If you drop the Neze, it's this relatively unobstructive shaft that all you got to do is step on or step around, right? You don't want to drop a Shamshir. Maybe you don't have complete foot protection on. You don't want to have the Shamshir tip pierce your shoes, so on and so forth. So Neze is relatively easy to disengage for a grappler. Now, if you're going to get into grappling at a close distance, this has allowed you to easily discard a weapon and pull your Khanjar, which for a grappler, I believe, in armor is one of your other best friends, because this allows you to get into the gaps of armor. It allows you to hook around the opponent's neck, throw them to the ground, right? This can be used so close quarters to grapple that when you tie up with this, it's actually not intruding on your progress. And if you have a Sephar in your hand, right, with this, maybe on your belt, you can still grab it off and you can still strike and you can still grapple with it if you need to. So I personally believe that for armored combat, the Neze and Khanjar are two of your best bets when you like to grapple. You can switch back and forth between them really quickly. They allow you to find gaps in armor, and they're relatively unintrusive when shifting back and forth in between two different ranges and fighting styles. So that's my take. Now I'm going to pass it over to Hayden onto the weapon that he thinks lends itself best for unarmored combat.